We've increased the burning of fossil fuels to produce energy for domestic and industrial purposes, but this has led to the release of high levels of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide into the atmosphere. And because these gases trap too much heat, it is making the Earth warmer, what we know today as global warming. The increase in temperature on land and sea has given rise to climate change, which has been called the greatest challenge of our time. But emissions continue to rise, and scientists say that temperatures are now 1 degree warmer than they were 150 years ago. And if these emissions are not cut, the world will not be able to meet the 2-degree target by the year 2100. Small island states, including Belize, would like to see temperatures down to 1.5. And so Belize, like the rest of the world, has committed to reducing its greenhouse gases by 50% by the year 2030, if they'd like to meet that target. So right now, Belize is working on its greenhouse gas inventories to find out exactly which industries or sectors are producing these gases.
We are now doing the GHG emissions inventory. In this inventory, you, like Belize, have an inventory of all the gases which are being emitted in the country by sector. So we have CO2, CH4, we have different emissions, different gases, and in different sectors. In the energy sector, in the industry, in the residential sector, we have in the agriculture and the waste sector. We have different sectors, and we have an inventory of the emissions. This inventory can be considered as a baseline of our emissions.
And it is important that we reduce our emissions by the deadline, because if we don't, that means bad business for small countries like Belize. Researchers say that there will be a massive die-off of coral reefs. Extended drought and other extreme weather events such as storms and rising sea levels are just a few of the consequences of failure to cut our greenhouse gases. And so to work towards reducing these gases and keeping stock, stakeholders who represent a wide cross-section of greenhouse gas emitting sectors are attending a workshop to share information on how to address some of the impacts that will help with a national plan.
This will feed the national mitigation strategy for the country. This strategy will be the kind of a roadmap for the future, which we will translate the main priority areas regarding mitigation in one document, national document.
On a global scale, Belize's emissions are very small. A 2016 study showed that land use and change, including deforestation and land degradation, have produced the most greenhouse gases. The energy sector and the transportation are also top producing greenhouse gas sectors. While this workshop will help to create policies and strategies that the country can use to reduce these gases, Martin explains that each of us can take action to help this effort.
There are estimations in this sector, in the forestry sector, and the forestry sector can be a sink instead of an emission source. The forestry sector can catch the CO2, for instance, in the atmosphere. So it is very important for the country to take care about the reforestation and to manage the conservation of our forests, because they are important for GHG emissions. Well, there are many things we can do to reduce emissions depending on the sector. In the energy sector, we could do energy efficiency practices. We can try to not spend many energy in our houses, and also in the industries we can plan how to reduce our energy use to be more efficient. Also our devices can be also more efficient, so the national government or national administration can implement standards for being more efficient in these devices.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.